So there's this company that works at the absolute highest levels of power. We're talking governments, huge corporations, and yet most of us have never even heard its name. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on Palantir and its massive ambition to build an operating system for the real world.
I mean, this quote just nails it, right? The most powerful data company you've never seen. It's a total paradox. They have this incredible world-shaping influence, but they're basically invisible to all of us. You don't have a Palantir app on your phone, but believe me, its software is humming away in the background, everywhere.
So that leads to the big question we're going to tackle. How on earth did one company get this powerful and stay so secretive, all while weaving itself into the very fabric of national security and, global finance? All right, let's get into it.
Okay, to really get what Palantir is all about, you have to rewind to the very beginning. And look, this is not your classic Silicon Valley startup story. No garage, no fun little app. No, this company was literally forged in the fires of a national crisis and funded, get this, in secret.
So after 9/11, this really painful truth came to light. The U.S. intelligence agencies, they had all the pieces of the puzzle. All the individual dots of data were there, but they had absolutely no way to connect them. The information was stuck, locked away in separate databases that couldn't talk to each other. And that exact communication breakdown is the problem Palantir was born to fix.
Yeah, you can see on this timeline, it's a direct reaction to that crisis. Once the massive intelligence failures of 9/11 were out in the open, boom, Palantir is founded in 2003 with this one single mission. But here's the real kicker. Its first checks weren't written by your usual VCs on Sand Hill Road. Nope. The money came from In-Q-Tel, which is literally the CIA's own venture capital firm. So right from the start, this wasn't just another tech company. It was a project with the deep state's backing from day one.
And their mission? I mean, it was just incredibly ambitious. They wanted to build a system that could dig through these just unimaginable mountains of data to find those tiny hidden signals, the little breadcrumbs of truth that could, hopefully, stop another tragedy before it happened.
Right, so we know why it was created, right? But what does this stuff actually do? I mean, it's not an app, it's not a website you can just log into, so how does it all work?
Well, Palantir basically has three main platforms. It all started with Gotham. That's their original beast, built for governments and the military. Think counterterrorism stuff. Then they took that same power and created Foundry for the corporate world. This helps giant companies, banks, airlines, you name it, make sense of their own tangled webs of data. And the newest one on the block is AIP, their artificial intelligence platform, which is all about helping both governments and companies make critical decisions, like right now.
Okay, so at its heart, the software does a few absolutely mind-blowing things. First, it breaks down the walls between all those separate databases, those data silos, and gets them to finally talk to each other. Then, it maps out all the hidden connections, between people, places, things, turning what looks like total chaos into a clear, understandable picture. And maybe the most powerful part, it can run simulations. It lets leaders play out what-if scenarios to see what might happen before they make a decision that has huge, real-world consequences.
And when you pull all of that together, you start to see why people call it this. It really is like an operating system for the real world, a kind of foundational software layer that helps massive organizations not just see what's happening, but actually act on it.
But, and this is a big but, when you give anybody that much power, whether it's a government or a giant company, you're gonna have a massive debate. It's this fundamental tug of war, right? Between the promise of more security and the genuine fear of total, unchecked secrecy. And make no mistake, the stakes here are as high as they get. We are talking about software that's being used to track terrorists, to help police with predictive analytics, to support immigration enforcement, and even to help the military pick targets. Yeah, these aren't just abstract ideas on a slide. This stuff directly affects people's lives and their freedom.
So naturally, this creates two very different camps. On one side, you have the supporters who say, look, these tools save lives, they stop attacks, they make essential operations run better. But on the other side, you have critics who are sounding the alarm, warning that this tech is building a massive surveillance state, that it's a huge threat to our privacy, and that there's just not enough oversight for something this powerful.
And look, this debate is not just some academic exercise anymore. It's happening in the real world, right now. In the war in Ukraine, Palantir software was right there on the digital front lines, helping Ukrainian forces analyze satellite photos and predict where Russian troops would move next. For a lot of military experts, this was the moment they realized software is now just as important as missiles on the battlefield.
That battlefield use case?
It's a huge signpost pointing to where Palantir is going next. They're not just about analyzing what's already happened. Now, they're moving into actively shaping what will happen using AI. You can actually see this clear three-step evolution in their tech. Step 1 was just analysis, helping people connect the dots. Then came Step 2, application, which is what we saw in Ukraine, using that data in the middle of an active operation. But now we're at Step 3, decision intelligence. With their new AI platform, the software isn't just showing you the problem anymore, it's starting to suggest what you should do about it.
And what can this new AI do? The possibilities are just staggering. We're talking about AI that could help run military operations, keep an eye on entire global supply chains, spot financial fraud the second it happens, even advise governments on what policies to enact during a crisis. It's a quantum leap in what this kind of technology can do.
So when you add it all up, their government contracts, their corporate clients, and now this powerful new AI layer, you get to a pretty jaw-dropping conclusion. Palantir's influence now touches pretty much every single critical system that makes our modern world run.
And who's using this stuff? The client list is basically a who's who of global power. The US Department of Defense, NATO, the British Ministry of Defense. Then you've got Fortune 500 companies, major banks, airlines, even hospitals and energy companies. The software is baked right into the nerve centers of our world's security and economy.
Which of course leaves us with one final, incredibly important question. As Palantir builds this AI-powered world of predictive intelligence, we have to ask ourselves, is this future going to be safer or just more controlled? And really, the answer to that probably depends on a different question. Who do we as a society actually trust to hold these unbelievably powerful tools?